Hi there, my name is Roger at Art Framer in Kelowna, and a special shout out to the Process Art Discovery audience. Today we're going to be talking about protection and preservation of your artwork, also known as conservation framing. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about the materials that are required to protect and preserve your artwork and display it beautifully. These are going to be, for instance, conservation grade glass and conservation matting and backing materials. Basically, you want to surround the artwork with things that are designed to protect it from the elements, from acid, and from light damage. So let's talk about the different kinds of glass that we can use to protect your artwork. There's a full spectrum UV protective glass, which is moderately priced, and there's also a glare-reduced glass that can have 70 or 99% UV protection, depending on what you want to spend. That can look spectacular. Now, the best look and the most expensive glass is what we call museum glass. That's what you're going to see in a museum. It's got an incredibly spectacular glare reduction aspect and a full spectrum UV protection. So that's what you're going to see to protect the most delicate artworks and objects. Now, your choice of glass can depend on certain factors. Is it a delicate and valuable piece of artwork or memorabilia or a certificate, something that will be displayed in a place with a lot of light, for instance, something that you want to protect that may not have been protected in the past, so you can be upgrading so that it is a much more safe way to display a delicate and valuable piece. Or it's just something sort of practical, temporary, like a poster. These, you wouldn't have to worry so much about that. You can determine the necessity of protective glass often by the medium used. Like, for instance, acrylic paint is inert. It's not going to fade necessarily, like ink and pen and markings like that, signatures, valuable stuff like that, that can fade fairly quickly, so you do want to protect that. But watercolors and oil paintings and acrylic paintings, not necessarily the same sort of sensitivity to light. So basically, all light can erode and damage sensitive artwork. Sunlight, direct sunlight, is the kind of thing you don't really want to have hitting anything of valuable at all. Because even with UV protective glass, blaring sunlight over time is going to diminish and fade certain things, for sure. And as far as the matting is concerned, this is, in French, we call it passe-partout. Passe-partout, goes around. This is something that can be, there's a spectrum of quality you can access. Some is very plain and, paper fiber, pulp, and up from that you can have the same kind of thing that's treated to be safe for artwork, like the acidic aspect of it is removed. The highest quality, or museum quality, is usually cotton rag. So it's an entirely different product that doesn't have any what's called linen in it. So there's not going to be any risk of that sort of damage. So a cotton rag mat is sort of the most spectacular and safe and museum quality that you could access. Now, picture framing can damage art if it's done incorrectly. And here's the thing, and again, it has to do with protecting it from light damage and from linen or acid from surrounding materials as well. If it's done incorrectly or cheaply, you take a risk. So something that is framed expertly and correctly and is displayed safely can last a very, very long time. There's a lot of artwork that comes in, for instance, from my clientele that has been framed decades, sometimes a century ago. And in some aspects, the quality of the framing can hold up fairly well. The thing is, conservation glass, for instance, was not introduced into the world up until, maybe 30 years ago. So we've got sort of an imperative to upgrade and the protective aspects to old artwork, for sure. And then, of course, it'll last a very long time if taken care of. So thank you to the Process Art Discovery audience. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen here. And if you want to know more, you can certainly check out my website, which is artframer.net.